Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Asha here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I want to talk today a little bit about the mind, body, positive mindset, all of these things that we hear about, we talk about, but I just wanted to break it down a little bit. Have you ever noticed that stress shows up at the oddest times? You don't even realize it sometimes that stress is showing up. And I'm talking about in our bodies with the tight shoulders, shallow breathing, clenched jaws, tension headaches. Every Saturday that you have off during your rest time, you get a tension headache. These are all signals that the body is undergoing too much stress, maybe an overstimulation of information, or not enough rest in proportion with each other. These are signs and signals that we have normalized in our society. And yes, stress is normal. A certain amount of stress is actually good for us. It keeps our body's resilience high and agile. However, when we get too much of something, just quite the opposite. If we get too much sleep, for example, you know how you feel really groggy and lethargic? It's the same thing. We're not really taught how to deal with these signals. So a lot of times we learn how to suppress them, we learn how to ignore them, and we just keep going. But what if that was your body's way of communicating with you? The way it very simply, the framework works is that your body, your brain and your body, mind and body are working simultaneously all the time. So what happens is that the brain sends a signal to the body. So say, for example, that you are going out for a run and it's cold outside. So you need to, bundle up with your heavy coats as we do in the winter time, and you go outside. In order to get the blood flowing to all the muscles that you need, there needs to be a signal that comes from the brain down the spinal cord, out the spinal nerve to the areas of the body that need to be pumping harder. Your heart needs to pump, the heart rate goes up. We need to be sending more blood to the muscles, and you need to be able to breathe a certain way to be able to maintain your morning run or your morning walk, whatever it may be. Now, what also happens, say, for example, you have not, you didn't drink enough water, or that you are low on magnesium, for example, and your muscles start to cramp. What happens is that as you're during your morning walk, your morning run, your muscles start to cramp. Start to get a Charlie horse. You start to get a cramp in your lower leg. That is your body sending a signal back up through the spinal nerve, through the spinal cord to the brain to say, hey, stop. We can't go any further. We need some assistance here. Now, this is a very basic breakdown of the framework of how it works, okay? But this is happening thousands, if not maybe even millions of times a day on a subconscious level. There are so many things that we don't even have to think about. Whenever we eat, digestion, breathing even, we don't need to think about it. Now, when we bring intention and consciousness, awareness to what we're doing with our bodies, then we have the ability to rewire those neural pathways, the communication pathways between the mind and body. This helps us in developing more of a growth mindset and positive mindset. And why is this even important? Well, let me say one thing. One of the biggest things that I always hear from people is that, oh, a positive mindset means that you need to be optimistic all the time. You need to be positive all the time. That is not, it's not about ignoring the negative or the not so nice things that are going on in your life. It's not about that, but it's about reframing it with intention, realizing what it is that you have control over, what you can actually have a positive influence over, and not going down a spiral into the negativity. Now, that's very, very different because, for example, if there are certain things that happen out in the world that we have no control over. But the one thing that we do have control over is how we perceive it and how we respond to it, which in turn helps our body stay in balance. And this is where we can learn to combat stress and all the symptoms that go along with it. Taking better care and listening to what our body's saying, rather than trying to repress and suppress the symptoms and the language of the body, we need to start learning to communicate and listen to it better. For example, I have several patients over the years and clients over the years that always tend to get a tension headache whenever they have a day off, or they're getting ready to go on vacation. The first couple of days of vacation, they're really ill. They don't feel well. It's because the body has been undergoing and maintaining itself with a high level of stress. And as soon as the body gets an opportunity, when the rest time comes, everything comes up and out. Now, if we can try to incorporate in our daily life things that we can do, simple things, and I want to, talk to you about 3 simple things today that you can do to help reconnect the body and mind and actually help yourself decrease the stress and overwhelm, because we all have this. Our society is very stressful, can be very stressful. But again, if we get more conscious and take the time to learn how to manage ourselves, we will be operating at such a different level. And what I mean by that is that your decision making will be clearer. You will be able to communicate better. Your relationships will be stronger. You will feel more fit. You'll be more vital. You'll be able to prioritize self-care. These things really matter. The 3 things that I want to share with you today that are very easy to do is change your breathing. For example, we're not taught how to breathe. I know this. This is like a common thing, unless you do yoga practices or have consciously taken courses into learning how to breathe. We're not taught how to breathe. Changing our breathing patterns can help support our nervous system at moments that are more stressful or that we have a lot of things to do. It can help support our nervous system to bring our body in better alignment and bring us back to calmness quicker. Changing your posture. When you've got tightness in your shoulders and you're, really stressed out, standing up straight, putting your back up against the back of the chair or standing up from your desk, changing your posture helps bring more alignment to your spine and lets the pathways flow a lot better, a lot clearer, and also it brings more relaxation to your body. The other thing is movement. Movement is one of the best things that I feel is one of the most important things, especially if you can get out in nature. Movement helps you just get a different perspective. It helps clear your mind. This is why a lot of people like to go for a run or like to go for a walk, or go to the gym even, to get their mind off things, to decompress from all the stresses, all the things that they're thinking about on a regular basis. Those are 3 very simple things that you can incorporate in your life right now, no matter what you're doing, no matter whether you are a busy entrepreneur, a busy student, a busy mom with 4 kids at home, whatever it may be, you can incorporate those at all times. Not only that, it also helps you with your stress levels and combat your anxiousness, because whenever we are more anxious and stressful, we tend to get out of balance. And that impacts not only ourselves, but it impacts everything that we do. It impacts our relationships, it impacts the work that we produce, things that we do, and it can help us be more calm. I've worked with thousands of people over the years in different capacities in my coaching, as well as working with patients. And I've seen it time and time again. When people start to incorporate very small little changes and alterations, their life becomes very different. Their stress levels decrease. They feel happier. They feel much better, more in alignment with what it is that they're doing. And I wish that for you as well. If you have any questions about anything that we've talked about today, please send us a comment, reach out to us. Be sure to subscribe so you can join me for more information, such as mindset, mind and body connection, health, wellness, all of those things I like to discuss with my listeners. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to connecting with you next time.